Hi everybody, Hannah here. We're back with episode 6 of the Data Source series, a series where we discuss a series of data sources, all of which are free to use. Today we're going to be talking about 5 different oncology databases, and we're really excited to share them with you. If you enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like and leave a comment as well if you have any questions, and make sure to subscribe to catch the next video in the series. Enjoy!
Hello.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Shanmugam. How are you doing?
Very good, JP. How are you?
Very good. Shanmugam, let's talk cancer today.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So one of the things when we receive the data, say PLD data on cancer, we know there are holes in there.
Right.
Florida Cancer Specialist, and,
Right.
Texas Oncology and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the biases, the capture is not very good.
Right.
And I think one thing that we want to be able is to gauge those holes, those biases, those caveats.
Right.
And I think that maybe the free databases could help us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What do you think?
Absolutely. That's what I do for any oncology project that we kick
Okay.
off, JP.
Okay.
So I have a bunch of 5 sources that I usually go to.
5.
Yes.
To do what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Why don't we dive in?
Sure. Absolutely. Yes. So let me show you. So these are the 5 main data sets coming from cancer.gov and cancer.org.
Okay.
So in the cancer.gov, that is fed by SEER, which is primarily focused on epi data.
Okay.
And also there's a National Cancer Institute Atlas dashboard, which is nice.
Okay.
And cancer.org has a American Cancer Society, which actually provides some basic stats if it's a new type of cancer, right?
Yeah.
And you could actually read about what are the current treatments, just a lay of the land. And then my favorite of these is the US Cancer Stats, which goes to the county level
So
and
it's
shows
deeper.
Right. And
I
we've
see.
used this for many projects.
Okay.
And the LLS is more specialized.
Like lymphoma or something like this. Yeah.
Exactly.
Leukemia.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll give you a tour of that too. So yeah, where would you?
So when you get a project, which one do you start with, Shanmugam?
So that will be ACS.
Okay, let's take a look at ACS then.
Right. Sure. So this is actually the American Cancer Society.
This is the high level one, the first one that you look at. Okay.
So they actually talk about what is breast cancer and what causes it, the types of breast cancer, and what.
So this is not data. This kind of description around the disease, right?
Right. Like general percentage. They'll talk about how the disease is kind of originating.
Okay.
And like the place of impact. Right, and they also talk about the general stats, JP,
but not too deep.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So very high level. They have like pictures and the lymph nodes and things.
So you get a good understanding of the disease of that cancer. Here you're showing breast, but it could be any tumor type, right?
Right. I think I remember they had like 56 types of cancer, or maybe So very detailed info. It's just a matter of you can search for it.
So it gets you acclimated with kind of get the background on the disease, right?
What hormones are involved, the gene mutation.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
So next you can switch to SEER.
Okay.
So SEER actually stands for Surveillance, Epidemiology, and End Results. So what they do, JP, is they have a cohort of registries.
Okay.
And they have about 22 registries, which captures 48% of the US cancer US population.
So real data is 48 and projected would be 42.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, that map is showing where the registries are, the 22 registries.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So these are where the registries are located, and that is how they pull, and that is the underlying data for generating the cancer incidence and survival stats.
Okay.
So
this means that when we get some data from whatever PLD, we can bring in the incidence, prevalence, mortality, survival, and run like a check, right? So for example, in Florida, we have the population and so on, and we see that what the PLD is telling you is kind of way, way lower than what you would expect.
Right.
From what a SEER kind of database would tell you, then you know there's something wrong that you need to adjust, right?
Exactly. You could use this for benchmark analysis, right? Yeah. And this is a sample of the data.
So what are we looking at here?
So this is a triple negative breast cancer.
Okay.
And then I have a more Excel file too. I can share that. We just separated by the stage of cancer
Okay.
and what is the distribution, and also by ethnicity.
That's pretty cool.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Okay.
So you have the actual stats and also the percentages. And this is actually the website. So as you can see there, you can see the cancer diagnosis, and you can get the actual table as well.
Okay.
And you can play with it, race, ethnicity.
And you can export all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have confidence intervals. And
so what's that blue line that we're seeing here?
So this is actually the SEER incident rate for breast cancer. And you could have it as a HER positive, the different. It's triple negative or HR positive.
The different types of.
Right. So, and there's a line difference for each of them.
That's a good thing. It's dropping. Looks like, right?
Right. Yes. That is true. Okay. So then we switch to US cancer.
So US
stats.
the SEER one kind of gives us some high level like national, but then broken out by ethnicity, by age, that kind of stuff. But it's still kind of national, right? They take the 22, then they project it for the whole nation.
Right. So, and it's kind of cumbersome to download small files as well. That's how I have a big Excel file I can show you, but I feel the US cancer stats is much better, where goes subnational GP.
Okay, so you're looking at what county here?
Yeah, this is the county, and we separated the county by Illinois, where we are, and we look at the rate of new cases and the total case count. Okay. This is the rate, but then this is the actual count, and what is the population for that particular county. And we have this for all counties for and the latest data that is
all tumor types.
2021, and we actually delivered a project on this for clinical trials.
Wonderful.
They want to study the sites and what is the population that they have. So this is pretty cool. This is actually my favorite. And then we go into the NCI, which is the National Cancer Institute.
So we're moving to a different database here.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So NCI is a good resource as well, and they have mortality. And this is where we actually have the bladder cancer, and we can see the stats. And they also, if you see, the data comes from SEER. And they have a more.
But maybe they put a beautiful face on it, right?
Exactly.
Make it looks good and nice visuals.
Yes, exactly. And let me see if I can show you the NCI portal. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So if you see here. So I know it had a little bit of processing, so I kind of pre-selected it based on I wanted to study the incidence for the Hispanic population, for females based on state, and then for the year 2021, right? So it shows a beautiful
state
map,
right? State map here.
Yeah,
very nice.
Exactly. And you can see there are so many different types of cancer: cervical cancer, colon cancer, esophagus, leukemia. Lymphoma, just within cancer itself. Very detailed. And then you can go like late stage mortality.
Get the demographics.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's a good one to add in your data box.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Next, we go into American Cancer Society. We already have. They also have a dashboard, but the NCI is prettier. And
so the ACS, anything to say about it? What's kind of cool about it?
So ACS, they do have state level, and they go to the county level, but it's one state at a time and one county at a time. I don't.
Oh, in terms of downloading, you're talking about.
In terms of running a project, I would like to have US cancer stats at much more easier way to kind of download it and take all it out.
So do you have any information that makes it kind of worth our looking at?
This is the first place I start my research. So they kind of more broader too, and I like one thing that I like about US cancer stats. It's actually they projected to 2024. Now 2025. If you go to ACS, so
you get projection.
Yeah, and most recent incidents mortality.
So you'll use it when you want to project.
Like
forecasting.
So, right. Yeah. Yes. And finally, the LLS. So
this one's a little separate, right?
Yeah.
Because it focuses on leukemia and
exactly.
And lymphoma.
This is actually all the blood cancers, right, JP? And they specifically talk about, they go in detail about, okay, what is AML? What is diffuse B-cell lymphoma, right? Let me give you a trial. So this is the LLS website, right? And if you can go to,
I think there's a bunch of articles there, right?
Right, yeah, for researchers. And if you go to patients and care, you can see the distribution of all the cancer type. So I just selected lymphoma, right? So you would see that Hodgkin's lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, those are the big two. But I think the leukemia is a better example where they have ALL, AML, CLL.
You want to understand the differences between them. And,
right.
Incidence, prevalence, mortality.
Right. And then the B cell kicks in. So this is a much more...
It's more on the biology side.
Yeah, right. So you can select a lymphoma and what treatment patterns are currently available, chemotherapy, radiation therapy. How do you can participate in a clinical trial too, which is awesome.
Wonderful. So what I learned today, Shanmugam, is we've got a bunch, like 5 data sources, right, that we can use.
Yes.
For me, when we look at the data, we always, we don't know what we don't know, right? The holes and the biases. So this one hopefully can help us kind of say, oh, you're straying away from reality. You have a big hole here.
Right.
Right. So that's kind of very helpful.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. So... And it's just a matter of stitching them all together as well to kind of develop a profile.
And you showed that kind of, they have different strength. One is kind of national level, the other one goes deeper.
Right.
And some would do projection. So depending on what you want, you may want to kind of mix and match those data sources, right?
Right. And I know you work with more projects than me, and we worked with already like so many cancer types, right? Breast cancer, lung cancer, prostate. We just finished the prostate cancer project, and then clinical trials. Yeah. Great.
Very, very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
welcome.
Shanmugam.
Yes.
Bye.
See you next time.